Hello and welcome to episode 1 of LBTV, a new series for IT professionals like you, where we talk about load balancing. That's the LB. Get it? I'm your host, Mark Jeffries, and in this episode, we'll be using the highlights from some of VMware's most popular webinars to take a look at the importance of the modern network in our multi-cloud world. You know, the last few years in particular have shown how it's become increasingly important to focus on multi-cloud services. It's imperative to remain agile as enterprises look to automate repetitive processes and gain efficiencies in their handling of applications and their operations. They need to do this regardless of where their applications are running, in the data center or in the cloud. What's great about LBTV is that we'll be bringing you experts who are using these services every day and building these products from the ground up. So let's jump into it. As we all know, the workplace, well, it's changed drastically. Everybody's working from home. Digital transformation efforts continue to accelerate. Your requirements have changed, and now, more than ever, you need a new modern network to automate and deliver the public cloud experience. Let's take a look at this keynote clip from VMworld 2020 with Tom Gillis.
As we're looking to automate the private cloud infrastructure and deliver the public cloud experience, the agility, the efficiency, the automation that you get in a public cloud, we need to think about all of the networking services, not just switching and routing. You need to think about switching, routing, security, load balancing, all taken together. And this is where NSX shines. It has the ability to deliver a completely automated solution with a very high-level intent-based API. And this is why forward-thinking customers are using NSX to fully automate their data center and deploy a workload, the complete workload, with all of the security bells and whistles necessary with a single click. And this creates the agility and efficiency that our customers are looking for. And a good way to think of it is imagine automating an assembly line. I'll argue that partial automation of an assembly line is a bit of an oxymoron.
You know, Tom makes a very good point. So the volume and velocity of application deployments in today's enterprises demands that focus on automation.
You can't partially automate things and have it work right. So imagine cars are running down the assembly line and you have robotic welders moving at very high speed, making perfect computer-controlled welds and creating an optimal process. But then you have Luigi, and he's the craftsman that installs the motor, and he works by hand, and he takes a lunch break. What happens to that assembly line? It stops. And not only does it stop, but when you're using a partially automated solution, it's too easy to make mistakes. Imagine a car company that, forgot to install a car. This actually happened once, a car shipped without an engine. And so the point here is automation does two things. It creates faster response and resilience, but also eliminates mistakes because you're not having to use humans to do the work. You do it with computers, and the policies are all determined up front. And that's at the heart of the virtual cloud network.
And how have customers responded to this approach?
So our vision for the virtual cloud network is to connect all of your infrastructure from branch to core to cloud with seamless, fully automated approach to giving you the public cloud experience in any type of environment.
For many of these customers, applications are no longer just important for business. They are the business. And the load balancer is, it's a linchpin for enterprises looking to drive their business forward by quickly rolling out applications. I can see clearly how application delivery infrastructure is particularly important for customers looking to deliver superior experiences to their end users. No e-commerce company wants users to abandon their shopping cart because the application took too long to respond.
It's because of this value proposition that we've seen significant uptick from our customers and from the market as a whole. So we have more than 17,000 customers. If you're keeping track, at this time last year, I announced 12,000 customers using our network virtualization. When you get that kind of customer adoption, something has to be going right. Load balancers can never, ever, ever run out of capacity. And so what happens is you buy a big expensive load balancer box and provision it ahead of time, and then you need 2 of them because you got to have failover. Oh, you might need 4 because you got to have DR. With the NSX Advanced Load Balancer, we have a scale-out architecture, which means when we run out of capacity, you know what we do? We launch another x86 box. This yields a 47% reduction in your operating cost. We're less than half the cost of running a hardware-based load balancer. Furthermore, because this is running on generic x86, it's a zero-touch deployment model. So in a COVID world, no one has to access the data center. You can just put our software on any x86 server.
Now, I know what you're asking yourself. With multi-cloud or hybrid environments, how can you potentially design this modern network to have the right amount of automation to scale? Well, let's take this a step further and take a listen now to Umesh Mahajan, the SVP and GM for the NSX product and VMware.
When you come to the load balancing, when you deploy applications, sometimes you don't know what capacity you need. And with ALB, we have elastic capabilities where we can do an elastic scale out. As the load on the application increases, we will inform you and automatically spin up more instances of the application and load balance across them. So works very well for our customers.
That elasticity combined with automation, having a system that proactively spins up additional capacity as the application load is increasing, is where the infrastructure truly behaves like the cloud. So now let's see how our experts address this in the context of multi-cloud environments.
You've decided to use multiple clouds, you're deploying applications there. You're deploying even applications in the branch if you have compute capacity over there. So applications are getting deployed in multiple locations. And the branch is also evolved, right?
We live in a truly distributed application environment where applications can be deployed identically wherever there is available compute capacity.
These new requirements are driving us to have a much more modern approach towards digital business, and obviously the underlay is the network, which provides the connectivity, the security, and the load balancing capabilities.
That's right, you should adapt to a new modern network. So how many customers are actually benefiting from a cloud strategy?
We find that our customers, 93% of them have a hybrid cloud or a multi-cloud strategy, right? They have an on-prem data center. They might be using more than one public cloud vendors for the rest of their applications. But as they are planning ahead, whether it's public cloud, whether it's on-prem, the public cloud has become the yardstick for agility. Doesn't matter, your internal customers are also saying, in the public cloud, I can spin up these applications immediately. I should be able to do that on-prem too. Otherwise, I'm headed to the public cloud, and so on and so forth. Again, the next set of ideas is cost, delivery, and value you provide to your business units. All these virtues the public cloud has done well. We need to be able to deliver the same on our on-prem clouds also, our private clouds also.
Why is VMware NSX uniquely positioned to help with what Umesh just described?
Now, this is the part I'm really proud of. We are the only networking stack, which I call a complete solution, all the way from layer 2 to layer 7. We can do switching, routing, firewalling, load balancing, service mesh, cloud connectivity, whatever you talk, in a single platform, in a single software code base, managed as a single entity. Super powerful. It's a competitive advantage for us and our customers. If they deploy NSX, suddenly they don't need to deploy a plethora of networking devices and spend endless time connecting them, managing them box by box, and spending a lot of money on that front when it comes to OpEx side. It's a huge advantage for us and a big favor and factor for our customers to deploy this solution and portfolio.
Can we rewind for a moment and go back? I don't want this little tidbit to get lost. If you have a platform resembling a Frankenstein model, you probably have significant limitations to automate. Many enterprises, for example, are finding that modernizing load balancing is a great way to start on a roadmap toward a single platform across both private and public clouds in the future. But that can be extended across all parts of the networking stack.
We are the only networking stack, which I call a complete solution, all the way from layer 2 to layer 7. We can do switching, routing, firewalling, load balancing, service mesh, cloud connectivity, whatever you talk, in a single platform, in a single software code base, managed as a single entity.
That is right. As you talk about automation and the single point of management, it's a consistent benefit across all of the NSX family of products. For example, in this case of Arvi, it can orchestrate the entire load balancing fabric centrally and simplify operations. Also, the solution works the same regardless of what your infrastructure is, whether it's VMware or not, and whether it's on-prem or in the cloud. And that's what this series is all about, looking back to realize how we can be better moving forward. I hope you found this insider information helpful, and we encourage you to join one of our interactive and educational workshops by visiting our workshop page. Until then, wishing you fast connections, secure networks, balanced loads, and of course, the most modern network possible. I'm your host, Mark Jeffries. I'll see you next time.